Do you want to dominate the EuroLeague Fantasy Challenge? Stay ahead with the latest expert tips, underrated picks, and injury news. Hit, like, subscribe, turn on notifications so you never miss a trade. And on to this week's video. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the EuroLeague Fantasy Challenge Podcast. This is episode number 30. Did you ever think we'd get this far?
No.
Not really, but here we are, final episode of the season, and well, we got a lot of things to tell you. First of all, is the Turkish Challenge Yearly Final Four coming up? So yeah, the playoffs are finally gone, and the best four teams advance to the final stage of the competition in Abu Dhabi, and we three will see each other in Abu Dhabi finally, right?
I agree. Those are all important things to bring up, but I think since this is the Fantasy Challenge Podcast, I think one of the most important things to also bring up is, can I now be crowned as the champion of the? Can I get my flowers?
How far are you from me?
191 points.
Okay, I don't think I can cover that during the Final Four, so maybe you will win this time.
And Javi's even further away. We don't even have to embarrass Javi by saying how far away he is.
No, let's bring it up. I don't care talking about it. Vasiliki, first of all, can you tell us who won the Fantasy Challenge Podcast Private League, please?
Of course, it's another time fantasy manager from Greece. So congratulations to Panagiotis Raptis, who had 155 points and was the first of the first in our private league.
And I have to say this, Vasiliki was 9th in the private league in round 41 with 146 points. Enough to go past me. Now she's 27 points ahead of me. But we still have 2 games. We have to write. I mean, yeah, Frankie's far away, but he can make mistakes. I don't know. He has to make a lot of mistakes, but it can happen. I mean, we cannot crown you yet, but yeah, virtually you're the winner of us 3, which is not a good thing to say because none of us had a fantastic fantasy season. But I think we gave good advice to people, and people appreciate the podcast a lot, and we got better following than season 1, so I'm happy about it. What do you think?
I think the key for at least the advice I give is it's the process. It's explaining why you make the choices, and then people can make certain gambles. But you want to bring in questions about injuries, rotations, matchup, and when you bring all those things in, you shine the light on different things. Then people can make their own choice, and there's no doubt about it. Luck is involved,
and certainly people make their own decision because there are many people who did a better job than us 3. So I'm glad about that.
All right, but like I said, we still have the Final Four, and we can give a little bit of advice to people. Should we go team by team? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a great way to go.
Start with AS Monaco. Second Final Four for the team. Could be the first French league team to make it to the finals since 1993. So it's a good opportunity for Spanulis, for Mike James, for a lot of people who didn't win the EuroLeague as a player, and for Spanulis to win as a player and coach, which is something that hasn't happened in over 20 years. So, but I guess that right now, having Mike James is mandatory, right? I mean, you have to pick Mike James. I think there's no other way around, right?
I think that there's no superstar who I'm comfortable with more right now than Mike James, because if you look back at his last 2 games against Olympiacos, they stopped him from scoring. So what did he do? Each time he dished 12 assists. When you can do that, then you're going to get your points. And I think that's why Mike James is mandatory.
I completely agree with both of you. Mike James is a no-brainer for me right now. I had him in the last few games of the playoffs. At the beginning of the season, I was a bit hesitant, even though he's one of my favorite players, fantasy world and real world, because he had back surgery during the summer. But right now he's at his best and he is more mature than ever in his game. As Frankie mentioned, when he can't score, he finds other ways to help his team win. So I think that's very important at this time. And maybe if the game goes down to the wire and you need someone to make big shots, he is going to make those shots. Even if he misses or he manages to make them, he will take them for sure.
I think there's no doubt, no matter how the game plays out, if once James is dishing assists and establishing himself as the playmaker, and they're sagging off him because other people getting open shots. Well, then he'll get one-on-one situations and he'll turn into a scorer. That's the brilliance of Mike James, or any point guard that can do that. But when you have a point guard that can pass and score, create for himself, create for others. Plus, I don't think anybody's afraid that Mike James is afraid of big moments, and his coach is somebody who was the same type, was not afraid of big moments, and I think we'll put Mike James into position to succeed. So I think more than anybody else, with Sasha Vezenkov a close second, but more than anybody else, Mike James is the player everybody should have.
Any other player from Monaco that you would recommend, or you would stay away from everybody but Mike James?
I like Jordan Lloyd for his value at 9 credits. With only 4 teams to choose from, there at a certain point you have to fill out with other guys. So I think at least for my second unit, I like his value, and I also, for backup center, I like Mem Jaiten.
I have another one in my mind, and I'm talking, of course, about Matt
Strazel.
Strazel, of course, whom I've been riding with throughout the season. I think after Vezenkov, he is the player I had the longest on my team, and he has helped me a lot. So I'm trusting him one more time. He cost 8.4 credits, and he had been averaging more than 20 fantasy points in the last 5 games. So in the playoffs against Barcelona, I think that's a good indicator that he will still have his minutes. He is part of the rotation, and he can help scoring or passing.
I do like that pick, but I will say, for the most part, my team is built of guys who are older, whether they have Final Four experience or just a lot of experience on the EuroLeague, and that's one of the reasons I felt more comfortable with Lloyd. Although Matt Strazel also had big moments in the Olympics even, right? So I don't think he's afraid of the moment. I like the Strazel pick. I almost went with him, but I left it for you, and I decided to take Jordan Lloyd.
Thank you so much. That's very kind of you.
All right. Well, I like Alfo Diallo, though. He can play the 3, he can play the 4. He's tough. I saw the Blossom game in his last game against Olympiacos. He played something like 36 minutes. I don't expect that in the Final Four. So I expect Diallo to take all the heavy minutes at both forwards. He can get advantages against people like Vezenkov, like Papanikolaou, depending on who he matchups against. So I'm actually picking Diallo as my 6th man. So that's how much I like him.
In that game, by the way, I believe he scored 18 points. So that was part of the reason he was earning more minutes, was because he was making an impact on both sides of the floor. And we will see that at different times in the Final Four, that a player all of a sudden is outplaying himself and has a great matchup, and all of a sudden will change not just the Final Four game, but obviously will have a major impact on fantasy. Can you guess who that person is? That's where the luck comes in, because a foul call here, a coach who doesn't trust the player there, an injury, it changes everything. But if you can get that Blossom game or somebody else unexpected to have that big game, that is what fantasy champions are made of.
I call it the Fabian Coser Award. Somebody who plays really, really better in the Final Four. I love Fabian Coser. He's the ultimate Final Four guy. Anyway, Frankie, you wanted to pick a team? Pick a team. Who do you want to talk about?
So I think that the most interesting team at this point is Panathinaikos, and specifically because of their situation at center. We are hearing that Lessor will come back, and that impacts centers everywhere. Well, not everywhere, for 2 teams. That impacts every other Panathinaikos center. How many minutes is Lessor going to get? How is he going to take away from other people? And also, what are the Fenerbahce centers going to do? Are they going to foul them? Can I trust the Fenerbahce centers? It's created a situation where I don't want any of them, but I think it's something that we should discuss.
Right now, we are not really sure if Lessor will play. There are some information that he will try to make a few practices with the team, which has never happened since late December when he got injured. So far, he has been training on his own, which is very different than having a 5-to-5 matchup, like playing with contact and all that. It's very different. So it's a very crucial game, so I don't know if it's the wisest decision for Panathinaikos to let him play for a few minutes. Lessor is Lessor. He was the best center last year, but he hasn't played in 5 months. So I wouldn't be really confident on having him on my fantasy team. Maybe he can play and be really an X factor for Panathinaikos for a couple of minutes on the court, but I don't know if that will translate in fantasy points necessarily, or how that will play out. So for now, I'm staying away from Lessor.
My guess a week out would be that they probably will play him instead of dressing, I don't know, maybe Tibor Plyce or somebody else at the end of their bench. I would not touch him for his price. 15.5 credits. I don't think he could possibly match that output. But as I said before, what he could do is change the rotation in a way and create matchup differences in a way that it makes me nervous about all of the centers on the two teams in that game.
Interesting. I was thinking more about the guards. I have a debate whether to pick Sloukas or Kendrick Nunn. In the end, I didn't pick any of them because I couldn't decide. Yeah. But if you had to pick, I mean, Sloukas has experience, 4 EuroLeague titles going into his, let's say, 11 active Final Four. He went to another one but didn't play. But that Kendrick Nunn is the EuroLeague MVP, has been the top scorer of the competition. But then in the playoffs, he was so-so. Should we go for somebody experienced and proved in this level, or should we go for Nunn, who actually had a good Final Four also last year?
I'll say I have not really been able to scout out what happened in the playoffs, but something that was not Nunn. That was not even playoff Nunn from a year ago. Is there an injury? I understand he missed the last Panathinaikos game in the Greek league. So was there something not right there? Was it a matchup thing? All of that is causing me to be nervous and stay away from it. On the other hand, Sloukas, big games, Sloukas, you got to have Sloukas. And the other player who's been red hot, who I'm going to have because he's not too expensive, is Cedi Osman.
So yeah, to answer, I would like to have both of them as well, but I think that's too risky to have two superstars from the same team playing in the same position. So I will go with Sloukas. I had him on game 5, I think maybe before that, because Nan wasn't as productive as usual during the playoffs against Efes. So I will keep Sloukas because of his experience and his clutch moments in those times. Also because he can organize the game and pass the ball to everybody to make big shots. So that contributes as well, fantasy-wise. And I also have Cedi Osman because he was amazing against Efes, especially in the last game. He was the MVP. He's on a very good role right now. He's confident. He has earned his minutes. Papa Petru is out of the picture. Grigonis is injured since the beginning of the season. So mainly he takes all the minutes in the 3 position unless Panathinaikos decides to play with 3 guards. So Osman, it's a great choice, and he only costs 10 fantasy points. So
yeah. So I just want to just understand this is your ranking. It is new contract Nunn, home Nunn, and at the bottom is Abu Dhabi Nunn.
I don't know. Maybe Abu Dhabi Nunn will be even better than the previous ones, but I feel more comfortable right now betting on Sloukas.
Okay. Well, quickly about the other two teams, because we have to talk about our teams like right away. Olympiacos, I would say, do you like Evan Fournier, yes or no? I like him. I put him in my team. And second, other than Hayes Davis, of course, the man of the month for Fenerbahce is Tarik Biberovic. How do you like these two players, Fournier and Biberovic? And if you have any other alternative for these two?
Well, let me just ask the question, and then I will let Vasiliki answer. I saw Biberovic as well as Nigel Williams-Goss and Papanikolaou also missed the last Olympiacos game with different nagging injuries of some sort, and that caused me to take Fournier out of my lineup. Again, we have a week to go and I can make changes. Right now, I don't have him, but tell us about their status.
No, it wasn't something serious. So Papanikolaou mainly hit his knee with another knee player during the practice, so it was nothing. Williams-Goss was mainly to rest, and Fournier had a little bit of an issue in his leg that he had the same issue during the playoff series against Real. It was mainly to rest them because there are a lot of days ahead of the Final Four. There was no need to push them. So they're taking all the precautions they need in Olympiacos to have everybody as healthy as possible for the big games. So I don't think there's a concern there. But if there is something towards we go to Abu Dhabi, you will all be informed through social media.
All right, well, let's talk about our team, shall we?
Yes. So, Frankie, do you want to start with your lineup?
I'm always happy to go first.
Perfect.
Because I'm in first place among the 3 of us, so that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, indeed.
That's right. Okay. My starting five at center, I have Daniel Theiss. At my forwards, I have Sasha Vezenkov and Chetty Osman. My guards are Mike James and Wade Baldwin. I've just got a feeling about Wade Baldwin, and I'm going to roll with it. And Wade Baldwin's had many big games and big moments. So that's the guy who we haven't discussed, but I'm confident in. And my sixth man is Kostas Sloukas. On the bench, I have Jordan Lloyd, Tarik Biberovic, Papa Petrao, and Mam Jaitek.
Okay, before I start, I want to say something, which is on Sunday, wait until the very last moment before the third place game to see who is in the lineup. Because a lot of people sit out in the third place game. A third place game counts for the Fantasy Challenge. That's the advice I forgot to say before.
Javi, that is excellent advice. That might be the best advice you've given all season, but that is excellent advice.
It is. Thank you very much. Finally, I'm getting it there. I mean, it's a little bit late in the season, but finally I'm giving people what they want. Okay, so I went to for 6 players and a coach, and then all the bench players are 4 credits. Samu Durov, Larentzakis, Kalitsakis, and Tarpi are my bench. And then I have Mike James, Fournier, Nigel Hayes-Davis, Bezenkov, Milutinov, and Alpha Diallo. These are my 6 players. The 6 players I think they're going to do best in the semifinals. And then I have Ataman as head coach.
Okay, we will talk about coaches a little bit later. But it's a bold move to go with 6 players and 4 that you are almost 100% sure that they're not going to play.
I cannot trade. I mean, what are you going to do? Am I going to try to get Viverovic, try to get a worse player and get 50% of points of Viverovic? I mean, I like Viverovic a lot, and I like Chetty Osman a lot. And there are a lot of players like around 10 credits or less that are really good, but these are the ones that I like.
Okay. So let me go with mine. I have Omer Yurtseven as my center because I decided that I will spend the less credits on this position because nobody felt exactly what I wanted, and I wasn't really confident in investing in any of them. So I'll go with Yurtseven. He had 9.1 fantasy points per game in the series against Efes. So it's according to his price. If we're there, it's okay. Then, of course, I have Sasha Vezenkov. It's self-explanatory. Chetty Osman, Mike James, Kostas Sloukas, and for my 6th player, I have Evan Fournier. And on my bench, there are Matt Strazel, Dyson Pierre, Tarik Biberovic, and Samu Durov. I don't expect him to play, of course. He may not even be in the 12-month lineup, but I had no more credits to spend. And also, I want to say something about Biberovic, if I may. For Frankie and people who haven't seen the EuroLeague Friends episode yet and need a little bit of context, in the episode we recorded with Fenner, we had Tarik along, and he was complaining to me that I didn't pick him at all for my fantasy team this season, which is incorrect because I looked back on every round and I found out that I had him at least 3 rounds this season. So Tarik, please, if you're watching this, I'm trusting you now. And I hope we're all good.
He ignored me so much. You don't believe. I was like, yeah, but I picked you. Yeah, but Vasiliki, what do you think? Vasiliki is this thing. I was like, yeah, but what about me? I'm also in the podcast. Anyway.
Yeah.
I can safely say I've had him for far more than 3 rounds, and I have him now, and I think that for 8.7 credits, it's incredible value there.
All right. Should we talk coaches or should we talk captains? What do you think?
Coaches first.
We should do both, but yes, coaches first.
Okay, Javi, you already mentioned you have Ergin Ataman.
Yeah, but I mean, if I had 0.1 credits more, I'd probably get Bartzokas, but I didn't. I think the Panathinaikos and Olympiacos are the favorites in the games. Then anything can happen. But I wanted to pick Bartzokas, but I ended up with Ataman, so we'll see.
Frankie?
I'm with Bartzokas. I can see a scenario where Fenerbahce beats Panathinaikos. And I see less of a scenario where Monaco beats Olympiacos, so I'm going with Bartzokas.
To be honest, I see a scenario where everybody can win against everybody. I believe what Javi said, that the Greek teams are slightly favors, but it's a Final Four and we see surprises all the time. Last year, Real was a concrete a solid favorite throughout the season, but they didn't win. So you never know what will happen. But I'm trusting 1% more right now, Coach Barjokas against Monaco. So I will ride with him.
I mean, I think we have to remember this is a league where the last place team wins several games. We've seen the teams at the bottom four beat several top teams. So now we have the best four teams in the league. There's no home court advantage. Of course, anybody can beat anybody. And I don't mean to disrespect Monaco at all when I say that. It's just a game of odds. And I think that there's a reason Olympiacos finished first. And if they are all healthy, and that's a big if, right? But if they are all healthy, then that's the team that I like right now.
Okay, so now it's time for captains. I think we have we will all have the same player, I guess.
Do you think so?
No, you know who. You know who. By the way, this is out of the new Panini collection, which is pretty cool. It's shiny. It's great. Best for press.
I also love him, but my captain is MJ55.
Wow.
Wow, that's
that can
wild.
be a big of a difference.
Like I said before, I don't think there's another player of the Final Four who I'm more confident that has a higher floor. I don't think they can stop him from generating assists and scoring. Vezenkov, I don't know. Maybe they double team him. Maybe they wear him down and Olympiacos still wins, but he doesn't put up his fantasy points. But Mike James, barring injury, I don't see how he doesn't put up a very nice game, and he is my semifinal captain.
Someone in the office called him best in PIR yesterday. To Vezenkov. Like, he only thinks about his numbers. I don't think that's true. If not, Olympiacos wouldn't have won that many games. So
he definitely doesn't think about his numbers, and I'm picking Sasha Vezenkov as well as my captain because, as Mike James said in the EuroLeague Fantasy, in the EuroLeague and Friends podcast, Vezenkov is always consistent. And if you see his numbers, he had his worst games in round 1. He had 12 fantasy points, and after that, he never had less than 15, which is amazing. So if he has a bad game now, I will be really surprised.
Oh, I'm not predicting a bad game. I'm just a little more confident in Mike James to have a big game right now.
Yeah, exactly. I think that the biggest ceiling is probably Kendrick Nunn, but right now it's too much of a risk after the playoffs. But the safe choice is Vezenkov, and something in the middle, like also really solid, is Mike James. So I think we're in the more or less on the same page, even when we have different players. So before we go, this is the end of the season. I want to thank all the technical staff behind the podcast. It's been amazing. There's a lot of people working on this, so that makes us look so good out there. And thank the fans for following us. We improve our numbers. Everybody's watching the game is more popular. The Fantasy Challenge Podcast is more popular. And what can I say? Thank you very much. Vasiliki, how was your first season? How do you like the experience?
Yeah, I have to thank everybody. Most of all, you, Javi. You know why. And Frankie and everybody that's behind the scenes for this amazing season. It was incredible. Better than I could have ever imagined. And I hope we will continue doing that next season as well. I don't know yet. But it has definitely been a crazy experience.
And aside from that, thank you again for watching. Thank you for watching this episode, for watching all season. And as always, we just ask of you to like the podcast, share the podcast, subscribe to the podcast, and be in touch with us on social media. And we hope to see you again soon, whether it's in Abu Dhabi or next season back on the podcast.